If you take the crusade, you may relieve your wife's position in hell.
In the summer of 1096, seemingly unrelated events converged to spark one of the most pivotal moments in history, the First Crusade. It was a moment where the balance tipped not because of a single grand event, but due to the acclamation of small but significant actions, decisions, and influences that created a chain reaction. This story is not just about knights and battles. It's about social dynamics, the connectors, the Mavens, and the Salesmen who made the First Crusade. And at the heart of this tipping point were the connectors. Individuals who knew many people across different social strata and regions. One of the most influential connectors was Peter the Hermit, a charismatic preacher with an uncanny ability to bridge the gap between the common folk and the aristocrat. His fervent speeches, filled with vivid imagery of the suffering Christians in the Holy Land, resonated with a broader audience. He traveled extensively across Europe, spreading the call for holy war. And in doing so, he linked separate communities with one single common purpose. You see, Peter's influence was not due to his position or wealth, but sheer social reach. His ability to connect with people from all walks of life created a network that transcended geographical or social boundaries. He was a human hub in a vast network of believers. Each person he spoke to became a node in the growing web of the crusade. Information is the lifeblood of any movement. And in the context of the First Crusade, the Mavens were the custodians of knowledge. Adhemar of Dupuy, the papal legate, was one such Maven. A learned man with a deep connection within the church, his role was crucial in disseminating the theological justifications for the crusade. He was a trusted source of information, providing not just religious motivation, but practical knowledge of how to organize and sustain such a massive undertaking. Adhemar's credibility and depth of knowledge made him a key figure in transforming the idea of a crusade from an abstract concept to a feasible mission. His detailed understanding of the logistics, coupled with his moral authority, helped to ensure that the call to arms was not dismissed as mere folly. No movement can gain momentum without persuasion. And the First Crusade had its share of persuasive figures, but one of the most effective was Pope Urban II. His speech at the Council of Clermont in November 1095 is often seen as the spark that ignited the Crusades. His oratory skills were exceptional. He framed the crusade as a necessary and righteous act, a way to reclaim the Holy Land and protect Christian pilgrims from Muslim persecution. Urban's message was tailored to appeal to a wide audience. He promised spiritual rewards, including the remission of sins, which was a very powerful motivator in a deeply religious society. And his ability to sell the idea of the crusade as both a sacred duty and an opportunity for eternal salvation turned the concept into a compelling call to action. Convergence of connectors, Mavens, and Salesmen created a social epidemic where the idea of the crusade rapidly spread through Europe. This was not a random process. It was the result of a careful alignment of social dynamics. The Crusades became a tipping point because it reached a critical mass of believers who were motivated, informed, and connected. And this movement was further fueled by the broader socio-political context. Europe in the late 11th century was experiencing significant changes: population growth, economic expansion, and a rising sense of chivalry duty among the knightly class. These factors created a fertile ground for the idea of a crusade to take root and flourish. The First Crusade was not just a military expedition. It was a massive social undertaking involving thousands of people from different backgrounds. The journey to the Holy Land was arduous and fraught with challenges. The Crusaders faced harsh weather, disease, and logistical difficulties. And yet, the social network established by the connectors, the knowledge provided by the Mavens, and the inspiration from the Salesmen kept the movement alive. The Crusades marched towards Jerusalem. They carried with them the hopes and prayers of countless individuals who believed in the cause. Their success was not guaranteed by sheer number or military might, but by the strength of the social epidemic that had brought them together. The First Crusade reached its climax in 1099 with the capture of Jerusalem. And this was the tipping point where the confluence of connectors, Mavens, and Salesmen, combined with the broader social dynamics, led to a monumentous change. It was a perfect illustration of how small actions and decisions can accumulate to create a significant historical event. Respect, the First Crusade was a complex social phenomenon driven by the interplay of individual influencers and broader societal trends. It was a testament to the power of human networks and the way in which ideas can spread and take hold, leading to transformative outcomes. Just as Malcolm Gladwell might argue, the First Crusade was less about the actions of great men and more about the tipping points created by ordinary individuals, yet connected in extraordinary ways.